And I can, we use debt here at the city, but we use it very judiciously. And we have the capability of borrowing much more money than any of us should be comfortable doing. Anytime you borrow money, you need to have a source of repayment. Otherwise, you're gonna have problems down the road. So things that we've used, and usually in enterprise or restricted funds are the most reliable source of funding. Your general fund can fluctuate because it's sales tax largely. So capital projects are, you know, sometimes good, you know, the last dollars on a project. Our next big borrowing is going to be probably $8 to $10 million for Bethel Phase 1, but we have the 1/10 measure that will pay the debt service on. So it's got a dedicated funding source. I'll just merge there's a plaza funding with debt, you know, down the road. It's a $4 million project for the plaza related, you know, you have the community center, we got the bank headquarters, we got the plaza in the middle. When we build the community center, we would really like to build the plaza at the exact same time.
Yeah.
And have it all together. If housing keeps going the way that it is for the next 4 years, we'll have enough park impact fees to make that happen. Are you guys receptive to the idea of if it slows down, we would still collect then we use park impact fees to pay the debt, because it would really be. I just think that, so, you know, open a community center and a year later, start another construction project right outside its door.
Councilmember Chang, I just want to hear from you, since you brought up this one. Were you just looking for this information?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we can just cross this one off
Yep.
then, perhaps?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And then I saw some hands appear.
No, that would be in the weeds. If Fred's happy, then let's move on.
Okay, when we just tackled
We
plaza funding with debt,
certainly talked about it, but yeah, where does everyone want to?
is everybody comfortable with that concept? I mean, it's a couple years out,
Well,
but in the, just throw that into the future and planning.
Hold on.
no, then I'll go back to the comment as long as you're asking if we're comfortable with it. My answer is build it once.
Yeah,
Don't
that's.
build it incrementally because it will look horrible. Kick off our.
It would be building a partial project.
Yeah.
At that point.
And
Okay.
the costs are gonna go down.
So,
We're done.
So hearing that this was something with future and planning efforts, is that where it belongs in your mind?
I think you can get rid of it.
Yeah, it's done.
personally.
now
Take it out.
I'd like to put it in the future and planning so that, because remember, I gotta take this document back to staff
Okay, fine.
and say, hey, here's the,
I can live with that, Mary.
The,
Just keep moving on.
okay.
Just
He's still
looking-
gonna come back to a vote. That's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know where we're
You
gonna
can't
head.
issue debt. I'm getting a feel for where you guys are at on these topics.
Let me just look around the room real quick. Is everyone okay with the plaza funding with that being a future planning effort? We're okay with that?
If needed,
If
if needed.
If
If
needed,
we-
because you have to make
if
that
needed.
one careful.
There we go.
Because she may have more funds than we know.
If needed.
That's right.
There we are.
All
Okay.
right. Brent hates the website. I don't love it either, but
It's cheap.
it's $115 a year. Oh, okay. We were gonna spend $40,000 getting a new website. And I went to the AWC conference, and this is a cookie cutter website that's used nationally, and they charged us a penny a citizen or something of that nature when we implemented it, and they haven't raised the price. We are limited in its capabilities, but it's $150,000 a year, and they provide all of the support.
$150.
$150, $115 a year.
Dollars,
So,
not thousands.
Councilmember Chang, You want to just speak to this one?
Yes,
Yeah.
I did want to speak to this because I appreciate that we're spending 50 cents on this website or $115. But my frustration is when I know there's something on the website, I go search for it and I can't find it.
Yeah.
Or I look for current meeting agenda and you have to go to council meetings, agendas, and then the first photo that comes up is 1890. And then you go down to 1960, and then you have to go to the next page, and I'm thinking, okay, I know it's there, I have the patience to get to it. But we're dealing with a lot of people with a lot shorter attention spans who are looking for a better quality product.
Okay, even if we had a different website, That isn't our website. That's our data retention software, which is Laserfish. And I brought that up more than one time. I don't know why they can't flip it, but for some reason, that isn't our website causing that. It's the very expensive piece of software we have that stores our data.
You just made it worse.
So I get,
We're spending money on that.
Let's just get a stack going. Anyone else?
Just real quickly on it, maybe this is one that we put in the, wherever we have the PIO. And let the PIO make some recommendations to come back with. There may be things that are current $1.15 per year.
$115.
I know, buck 15, that we could still do to make it a little bit more user friendly. Let's give the guy or gal a shot first at this, so we're not trying to say this is what I'm ticked off with or not. I will say, however, that on the agenda part, they have gone to recently at the top, hey, the city council's meeting, and I click here for agenda. So that does help, because otherwise, you're right, it was like 3 clicks.
We attempt to put, staff puts that up there. When they publish the agenda, they change the banner. So it's
Yeah.
right on the front
Can you
page.
guys live with that? Having the PIO take a look at it.
I'll say that my intention with PIO was to also look at this.
Yeah.
Oh, now you're piggybacking on.
So looking
I
around the
agree.
room here, I added plus website under the part-time PIO, put both their names there. Okay. Beautiful. This is another one, Councilmember Chang brought up, TS off mayor.
Okay. A number of you, I know you are excited. Transit is very,
Say what? Library, library property.
Transit
Yeah.
desires to purchase our library site, okay? And whether you like it or you don't, we have a transit center in our downtown. We're, marrying the ferry with the buses. And they need to expand their footprint. This isn't meant to be a threat at all, but, and I'll get to that, but they have, I think it's called Title VI. It's their version of the American Disabilities Act. They've looked at locations that they could put this. They can't have the buses stopping in a location that's a block or two from the ferry terminal. It has to be married to the ferry terminal, and they're not going to move the ferry terminal. So what we need to do is leverage this to get everything we can get out of them doing this, making it aesthetically pleasing. The biggest impact to this is parking, and they would displace parking. I've suggested that there's a business down around the corner that's for sale and it's property, and maybe they should look at buying that. And then one of their challenges too is that traffic from that parking lot on the waterfront passes through, well, they don't want that. And so maybe they should build a compact roundabout at Harrison. So we need to look for ways, they have a version of condemnation. They can take it from us. They don't want to go that route. I don't want to see that happen, but we
That's a
need to.
terrible story to read in the paper.
Yeah, we need to work with transit and get everything we can out of them creating a new transit hub in our downtown, which is needed for our downtown redevelopment to get people out of their cars. So that's,
We don't even get to vote on it. They're just gonna take it.
if they moved, we would not.
They have an option.
They have
I
a tool that they could
So
utilize.
we don't even have to vote on it. So if they get it, we don't even have to be involved.
I would prefer that scenario doesn't happen.
That's correct.
No, we can be involved.
We want to be, that's what I'm advocating for.
Right.
We need to be a partner and work with
Yeah.
them and say
So-
no, instead of saying, no, I don't want this.
Yep. So Councilmember Dina Rose Pepe Morrissey Fenton, is there?
So I'm sure we all have a lot to say, so I'll keep mine short. When we were surprised with this announcement through a consultant report that they had decided that the library location was the best new location for a transit center, they also had alternatives. And one of the alternatives was further back by the peninsula, or not peninsula.
Yeah,
Penn Feet,
Penn Feet.
yeah, Penn Feet.
And-
And so I thought, well, that's a great alternative because as we pointed out with our pathway, our waterfront is our jewel. And yet we're gonna have buses and a transit center in front of that. And I don't think that's a good look for the community when there are alternatives. Now, I've heard, I think Eric was the first to tell me that, the port is interested in buying Penn Feed. Well,
Doug said that happened yesterday, he said that they haven't spoken to him. Wow.
oh, okay, all right, well, that's good to know. And if the port is interested, well, then the Kitsap Transit and the port should collaborate on a parking structure, is what the port may be interested in. Collaborate on having Kitsap Transit as being the anchor tenant for that. But we haven't been involved in this, and that's the most disappointing part.
So, there, you know, well,
Yeah, let's do Councilmember Rosa Pepe, we'll come back to you,
Okay.
Mayor.
And I'll put on my transit hat. And I could speak for another 2.5 hours on this.
No.
But I guarantee that this is an item that should fall into the now. That we should have a robust discussion, invite Kitsap Transit back. So we can actually look at their plans and have a discussion with them. And table this for right now, put it in the now and have it come back to us at a work study. Because otherwise, I have a lot to say on it and I don't want to do that right now.
So, okay,
But I
so
will.
we have a proposal for a now, Councilmember Moore.
I'm for now, a study session, let's have an open dialogue, right? How does WashDOT get around that? That is quite the distance from where you get off in Seattle to getting on a ferry there, right? So I'm not asking any difference there. We talked about it at the Economic Development Committee earlier this week. Festivals are gonna have an issue. That's how we envision this space on our waterfront being utilized and the $168 million of investment going into our downtown, right? That blows that all up because we can't interrupt a bus route. And I don't think if we're really going into the future, that buses will be around no more than 10 years.
Okay, Councilmember Fenton.
Yeah, and I agree too, talking with it now, I have a hard problem to understand that they can just take eminent domain over that, because that is, the library is not even theirs. And then you see the buses going, they come in, they stack up, hardly anybody is on those buses at any given time, and then they go back out. And they're starting to put, you know, having a bus route on Sunday. They have starting to bring more buses around the city elsewhere. And two, that is our main beautiful area, the marina. And you literally want to put a Kitsap transit site right down on our marina. I guarantee you the people do not want that there, and there are other alternatives.
Councilmember Warden, and then we'll return to the mayor.
List, Fauntleroy, the administrators, when you get off, it's a hike. Before you get to a bus, you have to take it, how far you have to walk. So if that's valid, I don't know. What I do know, and I bite my tongue, that's a lot for me, obviously, but I would ask the transit board, like, how do you think so little of the city of Port Orchard that you want to do that to our water? Like, you really think that little about Port Orchard, that that's how you want to trash our water and not try and put it somewhere else. That's what I honestly, if I bite my tongue, but that's just the truth of it, you know? It's like we have our mayors on there, we have county commissioners on there, right? We have our mayor, supposed to have our South Bend commissioner, you know, on there. And I would hope to God they look back for us and say, I might be totally wrong here, but the majority of our council is voting absolutely not.
If not all.
Mhm.
I don't want to speak for everybody, right? But like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, so.
Yeah.
Just to disrespect our city like
Mayor
that.
Patansu, yeah.
We have to remember, it's not that they're building a new transit, that exists, that infrastructure exists already. They're wanting to modernize it and put a canopy on it. And what I've encouraged transit is, what they brought wasn't acceptable, okay? I'm pretty confident it's gonna be there, guys.
I'm
And
not,
we need
no
to
way.
make it,
At the library?
I think so.
Why are you so
They've done a study, and from serving people with disabilities, they need to be a certain distance from that ferry terminal. I'm just,
So this seems like a much bigger.
so I'm just encouraging,
Now-
Fred asked for this to be on the agenda.
Thank
I'm
you.
just, I've asked
Appreciate
Transit
it.
to relook at their plans, and I told them the biggest concerns I had were you're impacting parking, and if you're gonna take away parking, you need to replace that, and you need to create better traffic circulation.
Yeah.
But I think that could be mitigated.
Well,
This
I
seems
think
like a
there's-
really, really rich topic with
Yeah.
lots more to discuss.
We
The
already have
sense I'm
3
getting is
buses
that there's some urgency to talk about it,
Well,
but putting
there's
this in now.
There's a peripheral discussion too, which
Okay.
is, what do we think we want to do with that building, with the library building? I would like to discuss tearing it down and creating more green space
Yeah.
downtown. I know that's a revenue source, but at the same time,
And Myers too.
Now, at least we own the library.
Provide the library for free. though.
okay.
they drive in
but
the
let's
library
stick to
stores?
trans-
Yeah.
In there.
It's just, it's a one
There's
time.
probably a lot of tangential issues when it comes to this
Yeah.
is definitely
Yeah.
hitting a nerve.
I
So
just,
overall is, what is our vision of?
Okay.
I just encourage you,
Vision.
I've encouraged Transit to rethink. Yeah, if that's where you need to be, rethink what you're trying to do there. Address the concerns and then come back, and I just ask that you guys have an open mind as they bring that and don't.
Well, I have an open mind. No.
Well, I'll just say one more thing and then I'll.
And if that's the
And then I'll
approach you
shut up.
take, then they're not gonna have.
They're not gonna be open.
They're not gonna have.
He's-
an
he's
open
right.
mind either
He's
for a
right.
collaborative
All right, I'm gonna,
And it's gonna
I
get
got-
stuck down our throat.
this was your topic, Councilmember Dina, I believe.
Well,
This was Fred's.
I had also asked that it be brought up too.
Okay, so last comment.
So last comment is, when they presented that study to us that we hadn't seen before, they said that there was a number of alternatives that were analyzed, but they narrowed it down to these 4. And one of the 4 included parking off or the transit center over by Penn Feet. And so I would say if that was an alternative that was viable, why is it not on the table for active
I can
discussion?
ask the question.
Let's come back to that, okay,
Okay.
great, so the
Is it-
next one here,
Good.
oh, go ahead, it's the citywide facilities.
You know,
condition
this is just
assessment.
something Dennis, he's coming from a Parks and Recs background. I think it's a lot of money to spend and to have a consultant come in and look at all of our facilities, analyze them and tell them what the deficiencies are.
Yeah.
You can get farmed that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't that what
I-
planning?
Don't shoot the messenger.
Directors can.
planning. Future?
No,
Or just take it out?
Can I just look around the room, or can I put this in the future?
No.
No.
Out.
Drop it all together?
Sounds good.
Drop.
Yeah.
Okay, is everyone okay with
Yeah,
dropping it?
drop it.
Dropping it,
Yeah.
dropping it,
Sure.
dropping it, okay.
I'm not saying that there isn't value, it's just a lot of money.
Well, I think what
Yeah.
I would agree with Eric is we have staff that can do that if they just maybe need a little additional training.
Yeah. Dennis and Mark are, we're having this challenge with the Little League right now and they're wanting to put a turf field in. I'm not sure that I hope that we're able to play the Little League's able to play baseball this year on there and we're working with them the best we can. Dennis and Nick are advocating the master plan. That's a valuable asset. We work with them and pursue grants to create something much different than what we have there today.
Okay, let's get the stack going. Councilmember Morrissey, Diener.
I'd like to recommend this on future. I'd like to invest in people. I think we set that, so I would like to put that in future.
I'll second that. And also I would like to remind people that we did have a priority use of our parks and we need to look at that, refresh ourselves with that.
Can I ask, I think I know the answer, but we have the Givens facility that surrounds Givens Elementary School, but that property belongs to the county.
Yes.
The building itself belongs to the county.
What is who owns the property?
The property, the fields and everything all the way to Tacoma, I think it's Tacoma, is that?
Yeah,
Back there? That's us.
Yes,
That's our property.
but the property, community center,
No,
the land that it sits on.
No,
That
That's
is
it.
county.
that's
Okay.
county.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
They own the dirt that their building sits on. We own the fields and the sports.
Right,
complex.
okay, my question was the land because it makes a difference.
Yeah, so there was a proposal to put this master plan for Gibbons Park into the future. I'm looking around the room. Everyone okay with that?
I think we could spend 150 doing something else.
Okay. All right, next one. Go ahead, Mayor.
We have, pushing $10 million worth of equipment at the Public Works facility, sitting in the rain. And it shouldn't be, and we just lack We're growing, we need more equipment, constantly buying more equipment. I think we need to make it a priority to build another building out of Public Works so that we can, now when we stage the snow equipment, we have to make sure that the shop bays are available. Because if the snow, if the sand freezes in the back of the truck, it doesn't. So we need a heated storage facility. We're probably looking at $500,000 or more, though, can be probably 50% paid for from enterprise funds. But
So we put it in 25, 26 budget.
I'd like to see it in that budget,
I can-
yeah.
I can-
Okay, so Councilmember Diener's hand is that.
So it was a couple years ago-ish that we went out and visited the Public Works yard. And the chief takeaway there was there wasn't much more space. Are
Right.
you looking at trying to build on that site or?
No,
somewhere?
we have, we own, when you first come in
Right, okay.
over there,
Yeah.
we have a whole bunch of property around. There's a landfill there. We can't build on the landfill.
Industrial park?
In the industrial park. We've got property.
Yeah.
It won't be on the same pad we're at. But we would fence an area, build a building and get our equipment, some of our equipment out of the weather.
Okay, so then I saw Councilmember Rose,
No,
were
that was
you
the
done?
25,
Okay,
26
Councilman
budget.
Warden,
Yeah, we can't put it in
So-
Larry's.
Last we talked about that facility out there,
Mhm.
anyone, you mentioned metal building, 3 walls.
I think this should be a heated facility because we need to get the equipment in a
So-
controlled. Yeah, it'll be it'll be a metal building
Yeah.
with roll
Like
up
safety
doors, yeah.
so what I haven't
But-
heard yet is a sense, go ahead,
Yeah,
Mayor.
but of course, it's simple, it's just a metal building, but we put
nothing in-
blacktop down, we gotta do storm, we gotta bring in utilities. Next thing you know, you spend $500,000.
So where does this belong? Is this,
25, 26.
okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Let me look around the room again. Everyone okay with this?
This next one.
Councilmember Chang, you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, you're right, okay.
This next one, roles and responsibilities training, the attorney offered to do that for us. I think we could roll that into the other training, because we were gonna have her there anyway. We do that online training. And she adds on to it, a training that she's given to other cities on council roles, just.
Yeah.
Big picture, understanding your roles and responsibilities.
Part of the parliamentary training?
Yep.
Is everyone okay with that? Looking around, okay, beautiful. That's it, yeah.
Do it all in one
And
day.
then this next one was a repeat. I have one more and I don't believe, I'm just bringing this forward. So we had an incident on Monday with we've had this problem twice now in my tenure with, previously our heating system malfunctioned and we're replacing our heating system. And we had, carbon monoxide in the building, because the heating system was putting the exhaust into our air system and.
It's a good way to heat things.
Yeah, but this last week, and we normally have CO2 monitors, but downstairs is all tore apart and they disappeared. And so contractor had a large, gas powered air compressor down outside my office window in that enclosed area. And we're running it for about 3 hours and we have one employee who has some sensitive lungs and some others all of a sudden were getting headaches. And we discovered that they were running that generator right underneath the air intakes. And so we went, Public Works is going to get some new CO2 detectors that would probably wouldn't have went off. An employee ended up in urgent care over it, but it was an isolated incident related to the construction and the contractor being a knucklehead.
Better hit their insurance.
So, it didn't turn into anything more than that. Everybody was fine, but, safety committee met yesterday and that was one of their, we need CO2 detector. Yes, we do. And they would like to see us, the city fund a safety officer in the city, so that we can monitor. And yeah, well,
An
100
FTE,
Well,
safety FTE.
it'd be an FTE.
oh, okay, so you have a
Have it-
safety committee, no doubt,
We have a safety committee.
okay.
They want an employee and
I don't think we're big enough.
Do they want to be part of
I
it?
don't, I can do agree with that, but I'm just bringing that.
I think we can give somebody,
Training.
some training and maybe even a
We-
little
we-
title and
Yeah,
top
we-
of their
we-
existing.
We have,
Okay.
training every day at Public Works, that we got somebody that's in charge of safety there.
planning?
Future, yeah, future and planning, because, no, the reason I would say that, Mayor, is because we don't want to lose down the road this thing. It could be future planning for the next 3 retreats, but at least it would stay on the list as we grow.
So let me look around the room. Are we okay with
Yeah.
putting it on future
Yeah.
planning?
Can they
Yeah,
get a
hang
CO2
on.
monitor on their desks, everyone?
We'll have them on all the floors. We're supposed to have them on all the floors.
Okay.
That's kind of like a fire alarm. right?
There were two more that came up during this conversation. One, it could be nested, but you were talking about, Councilmember Diener, about adding ground rules for public participation.
Mhm.
Is that nested somewhere else or is that its own topic?
That's nested with, looking at our particular rules as council,
Okay, so,
council meetings.
is that under public comment or the one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that I'm highlighting?
Yep.
I believe that's best.
As long as we're doing that, I got one more too.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me just finish the ones that I heard today. There was also someone who wanted to talk about signage regulations. Was that you, Councilmember Fenton? About your like,
Oh,
yeah, is that something you wanna,
I think that would be great for the public to get more information. Yeah.
so, but you were saying that ordinances might need to change, so is
Yes, we
that a
can look
topic?
into those.
Yeah, is that a topic you all?
You gotta remember, we put up reader boards, we have to allow everybody in the city to,
Are you sure?
so.
I think the county went through the same exercise and they created an exemption for government.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Ooh,
So I guess the question is this something you wanna look at now or future?
Oh, we don't have to look at now. I mean, if you guys, I think it's definitely something that has helped.
Can you
Yes.
put that under PIO?
Oh, I see. You could put that
Oh,
under
the
now.
mobile?
and We can just,
Yeah, no.
So
I
there's
think
like 3
I-
conversations happening at once.
Sign down here in that island that would advise the
Yeah.
community.
yeah,
folks
what's going on
Next,
with the city
We're
council?
going to have an interactive reader board like that in the lobby when we're done, but it won't be out on the street.
So there's a
So-
few conversations happening here. I think the
$70,000 for a monument style electronic. sign.
yeah, I think that the topic that
Or
to
more,
bring
yeah.
up is whether you want to discuss this as a council in the near term, or is this something long-term you'd want to discuss?
Near term.
Near term, okay, signage, okay, near term looking, this is a now item, just to talk about, not to make.
I'd like to nest that with PIO as well.
What do you think?
Yeah, no, I
For
think,
the-
I
under
think
the
it's
PIO?
related,
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
As long as.
Okay, plus website,
Yeah, that's good.
plus,
Maybe because they're the ones that will be doing it.
reader.
Right.
Okay, so, we still have to do the whole exercise of you ranking these, but I do see one last, okay, one last.
Okay, so, and I think this may be just informational, I'm looking, Rob, for you for this one. Just because it's financially based, and that is our derelict vehicle and house removal, I can't think of a better way to say what we could, when we, come on, we've taken down a couple of houses since I've been here, what do we call
It's
it?
our abatement process.
Our abatement process.
Right.
From your opinion, are you comfortable with the level of funding that we have in both of those?
I think so.
Okay,
We
that's it.
we haven't ran out of dollars.
Yeah, that's all I need to know.
And we budget additional dollars when we do
Yes.
deplete, yeah.
I lost the thread there, you got what you needed.
I got what I
right?
needed,
Okay.
unless anybody else has,
Okay.
at least no information about it that we need to talk about later.
Every budget's new. So
Yeah.
I don't know what the
But
dollar
we've
amount, you
enrolled-
guys
100
funded it, a bucket of dollars, nothing rolls over from budget to budget. And so we historically budget a bucket of dollars, and if we ran out of those dollars and we had an abatement project, I assure you, I'd come out for more
It,
money.
it doesn't technically roll over, but I think we agreed to having a set amount in that budget.
You can't do that.
Well-
Each council has to
Yeah,
Right, okay.
pass their own budget.
all right, I'm gonna be strict, because after Councilmember Morrissey, I think that we do need to move on, so go ahead.
There was one topic that I thought was on here that we didn't cover today, annexation.
Oh, I thought that was on here too.
Oh, did we cover it?
No, we didn't.
Oh,
That's what I'm
okay,
saying,
I
you're right.
thought it was on, and
I saw it.
So
Sure,
what I can speak to on that front is we were, so the concern is Bethel South the county approves development out there, because it's not in our city, it's in the urban growth area. And development gets approved and it's not to our standards, and what we want to see for our vision, because that will become part of our city. There's a new methodology, about last year, it was approved by the legislature, that allows us to do an ILA with the county to do an annexation, so you don't have to gather petitions, and they get to the vote of the people. Okay, we were in negotiations with the county last year on that. And the public process was gonna take longer. We can't just do a backroom deal and all of a sudden now, Scott, you're in the city. We need this public process with that. And we're in the middle of our comprehensive planning process. We ran out of time and it's just not feasible to do it this year. We intend, and the county, at least when I talked to Commissioner Walters recently about it, they're interested in bringing that conversation forward again, but not till next year. And well, the likely area is Bethel South. And then we've got a couple of pockets on the west side of the town that are the storage facility next to Sydney Glen. That's in the county, but it's an island in the city. And so the county's providing service to that island. And there's a couple of those little islands.
The Hullberry Lake.
There's one on Bear, yeah, there's a few of them. And so they will likely be part of that agreement too. Now, the property owner could object. We need to listen to the property owner, but we need to be able to provide the county and the city efficient service to everybody.
And when we had land use, this is where Nick agreed to us, we looked at it, and nothing's gonna happen until the comp plan's done by both county and city.
Yeah.
So it's a 2025 item, and I mean, if you wanna put it in future planning, that's fine, but that's where it will sit. There's no
It's
budget.
already underway.
Yeah, there's no budget.
It's in the
attached to it.
county's preferred alternative?
Yeah.
As well?
Yeah,
So, can I put annexation under future planning?
yeah. I
Okay,
put ILA though, because it makes a difference.
okay, I like, beautiful.
It's also worth talking to the commissioners about what their intent for pocket UGAs is.
Great.
A recent commission board not too long ago wanted to divest themselves of all those UGAs surrounding other cities, except for in certain areas, CK and.
Yeah.
But if that's still their mission, then that's what we're talking
A
about.
little conversation I've had about is the ILA and what in the areas, so. Okay,
Okay.
we don't need to rank, I mean, the things that now are largely things that we can do. Yeah, and they're all not gonna happen tomorrow, and I don't think we need to rank future planning either, it's the middle column, okay? Because when we go to develop the budget, we're gonna have a pot of dollars remaining. And I need you guys to give us what you're talking, so if there's, and Jay said there's $1 million there, maybe more.
There's a million right now.
There's $1 million. We might have $1.5 million and everything gets funded and we're looking for more. We might have $250,000 and I want to build the budget with the dollars that we have, with the priorities that you guys have identified. So Sophie's gonna put these onto like a.
Yep, I'm gonna pull it up in a second. I'm sorry,
No,
Councilor.
it's a rough spreadsheet of what everybody commented on and rough cost. I don't know if you wanted me to send that to you or not. It's just a,
She's gonna,
yeah.
she's gonna create,
Yeah.
so what?
Do you want to have the cost dollars
No.
in there, but a lot of it is already roughly
Okay, that's fine.
listed
We're
here.
good.
Okay,
We're good.
beautiful. So I wanna,
Just a quick comment. I think there's a lot of nows going on, and that's gonna compete for staff time and attention too, so.
Do you want?
Well,
so.
maybe you can come back with your
Yeah.
idea of.
I'll meet with staff and give you, right, there's capacity and some departments have more capacity and it depends on which department it's landing in.
Yeah.
Sure. Sure. Okay, so if you want to look up on the screen for a moment, I do have a question. So congratulations, first of all. You just covered a tremendous amount of information and dialogue, and I think you really did uphold all of those kind of ground rules of civility and all the rest. So I just was very impressed with the last 3 hours.
And if I could, I would
Yes.
recommend I thought we were gonna end up with 15 things on here.
Nice.
And I would recommend that we go 1 through 5. Excuse me, 1 through 7.
That's what I was wondering.
And everything gets a point. So you're gonna give the most points. So So Eric, we're gonna print this off and I'm gonna hand you a piece of paper here in a few minutes.
Go back, go back.
You're welcome to join us.
Yep.
We're closed before, I don't want you closed now.
And so you're going to, your highest priority of these 7 things, you're gonna give number 7 to, okay?
Number 7 is the
Because
highest,
we're gonna.
most
because
points,
Most points.
most points wins.
All right.
Okay, so you're,
Instead of
Backwards.
least points.
Yeah. It's the masters, right?
yeah, so most points.
Everyone okay with the most points to what you want?
Mhm.
Okay,
Sure.
so I think what I have to do is call upon Janine or
You
you,
could email it to me
okay,
and then I will walk over to HR. I printed it in the HR.
okay, so you all will get
There.
this. There,
Scott's lunch.
right,
So we're just gonna do a blind.
Yeah.
Each one of you is gonna get one of these sheets and you get to rank your priorities.
And then we're gonna.
So in the meantime, we should use the rest of
I was gonna say,
So-
now you have 5 minutes to do that,
Tabulate the
yeah.
results.
print. Are you okay with the link?
Sure, as long as it goes on one page, we're fine.
Oh, yeah, but just not an attachment. It's- Okay, it's in your email.
No, it's not.
Okay, mine's done.
Oh,
You're back, literally a napkin
Back to
there.
Napkin, bud.
Is that a bar napkin?
Work study this Tuesday. Good topics.
Thank you, look at that.
nice.
Do we have a work study for Tuesday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair. Email you.
Yep.
So our IT person was listening to the meeting and he said this is a module for something similar to John's dashboards and our accounting software.
Scott. Fireworks.
Oh, okay, good. I was gonna ask.
So yeah, everyone, this is a 2-minute break just to get everything printed unless you choose the napkin method. So stretch, take a moment, and then we'll have about 10 minutes or so for you to do the ranking.
Boring.
Yeah. Grab of that should be, yeah.
So you want to